If you're an OG on this channel, you would know that one of my favorite gay spas to visit was MB Spa. I actually talked about and reviewed this spa in my most viral video, and this is the video that really kickstarted my YouTube channel. Like, this video put me on the map. Not only that, but the owner of MB Spa actually saw the video and has been super nice and thankful to me. He told me that my video really helped with his business. Like, every time I went back to MB Spa since then, the owner would always take the time to like come and talk to me. He would like shower me with gifts. He would give me jars of fruit, and then yeah, we would just talk about his business. And from that, I can really tell that he is just super passionate about what he does. Like, unless I'm being duped and the guy is like the Marjorie Tyrell of like spa owners, I genuinely believe that he really does care about his establishment, his business, and is just actually very passionate about it. So it really hurts me to make this video, and to be honest, I went back and forth on whether or not I should make this video or not, because here's the thing. I know that eventually this video is going to reach him, and everything I am about to say here I've already privately messaged him about, and we have like a brief conversation and blah blah blah. But like, anyways, the main reason why I'm making this video is because like my most popular videos are the videos in which I am like glazing this place up. Like, I still routinely get views and comments and like messages about the spa, and honestly my feelings have changed very recently since making those videos. And I really don't want to lead people astray, because your time, your money, and your experience is important. Especially if you're investing the time and effort to come to Vietnam, I want you to have the best experience available. And honestly, I think that no longer includes MB Spa, or rather their new branch, CB Spa. And to the owner, if you're watching this, you're probably gonna be watching this, please understand that this is nothing personal, and I really do want you to succeed, but there needs to be some major changes in which you handle the quality assurance of your staff. I know this isn't the video that you were hoping for, especially since you asked me to make a new video for this ranch of yours, but I feel like I do have to be honest. And here's the truth. It is undeniable that your spa gave me one of the best gay spa experiences I've ever had, but also it is now responsible for one of the worst gay spa experiences I have ever had. Now, I do want to note that the last time I visited CB Spa, in which, you know, this unfortunate experience happened, that was during March 8th or 9th, something like that. And I know that because I privately messaged the owner on March 11th, which is, you know, a few days of experiencing this. So I do understand that a few months have passed since my very poor experience. So it is very possible that the owner has had time to listen to my feedback and he's managed to fix things up. And I really hope that is the case. But I haven't been back there since, so I don't know. And honestly, I don't want to have to spend more money to go back and test it out again. And I feel like it's only right that I share this part of my experience, because, you know, my videos are still up. And, you know, people still routinely comment and like send me messages about how like they're super excited to visit Vietnam, how they want to try out all the places that I recommended. And like, you know, I feel like I have to make an update, you know what I mean? Anyways, let's just get right into the issues. So in early March, I went into the spa and I, you know, requested a massage. The person I chose was like your typical personal trainer kind of guy. He had like a kind of nerdy look and, you know, kind of innocent face, but like the body of a fuckboy. AKA my type. What can I say? I'm a simple boy. Anyways, I chose him and then we went up to the room. And I do want to mention that I think CB Spa's strength is it's in design. Like, the rooms I saw, like especially the room that I was in, it was quite nice and quite luxurious looking. There's a lot of space and it smelled clean. But yeah, the rooms were nice. Even the smaller rooms were nice. But there is this one detail that I kind of noticed and I didn't really like, was that it doesn't seem like the staff cleaned the rooms enough after a guest has used it. Because like, there's this one point where I saw like a greasy handprint on the bed frame. And you know, when you're in the massage room and you see that, your mind goes places and it's a little weird looking at it. It's kind of distracting and doesn't look good, doesn't look clean either. But yeah, I hope they notice that more, because I think it kind of distracts from the experience. But anyways, I walk in and the massage starts. And right from the get-go, I had a feeling that there were gonna be some problems. Because like the masseur, when he was like massaging me, he wasn't really doing massages, but he was doing more like, you know, stretches. Like for the first minute, it was like your typical massage. He was using his palms and he was like massaging the heel of my foot. Then when he went to my calves, then he went to my thighs. But then that was like basically all he did. Then after that, he started like, you know, twisting my body around to like give me like a good stretch. My leg was over his shoulder and he was like stretching something. And like, you know, it makes sense because, you know, he's a personal trainer. And yeah, I don't think he was trained to do massages, or he wasn't trained on how to do a massage, because that's all he did. He was just stretching my muscles. And that went on for like 5 minutes. Maybe it was like 8 or 10 minutes, but it really felt like 5 minutes. And even during those 5-ish minutes that he was like, you know, stretching me, not massaging me, he would sometimes stop to like check his phone, and that's, I mean, that Come on, dude. I will say that I am somewhat okay with this if it's, an emergency, or like, if it's during a time where like the masseur needs some sort of visual stimulation to get things going, then I understand that, especially if like the masseur is straight. But then like within the first 5 minutes of like doing the massage, you just stopping randomly to check your phone, like that doesn't, feel good as a customer. So anyways, after the 5 minutes of him massaging me, stretching me, which included the dead air time of him checking his phone, he suddenly just flipped me around, flopped his dick out, and then, yeah. And then, he just like flopped on the bed, and then he just laid there. And that's how it was for the next 20 to 30 minutes. Remind me again, who is the guest here? Now, I will admit I did kind of sort of fuck up, because the masseur at first was very, very unenthusiastically trying to please me. But honestly, he just kind of looked tired and done. And you can kind of tell with his body language that he was like sort of over it. And also like not only was his energy low, but like he was like doing things that were like, clearly for a certain part of a girl's body part. Like it didn't do anything for me, and I don't think he realized that. But also, at the same time, I also felt like he kind of knew he wasn't doing very well. He wasn't performing very well. Like, I don't know really how to describe it. Like, it was just an awkward experience overall. Awkward enough that I was feeling embarrassed for him. And me being kind of like a people pleaser in that moment, I was like, I didn't want him to feel bad. I didn't want him to feel embarrassed. So I was just like, oh, don't worry. I don't mind. I actually like being submissive and I like serving people. Yeah, this is okay. Yeah. Which I really deeply regret doing. Like, I really regret saying that, because after that, the man was like a fucking log. At one point, I literally thought he was sleeping. And that's literally how he was for the next 20 to 30 minutes. Just lying face up on the bed. Occasionally, he'll like wake up to like check his phone, look at stuff, and then like... And again, I'm okay with him doing that if it's to give him some more visual stimulus so that he can perform better, especially because he is straight. But he literally wasn't doing anything. There was no performance. And eventually, I feel like he did sense my lack of enthusiasm and dissatisfaction with how things were going. So he kind of like got up and then started dry humping me a little bit until we were done. And yeah, it was devastatingly bad. So I just, decided to wash away my sins and boredom with the bathtub water. And it was funny because like when they were showing me this room, they were kind of heavily advertising the fact that this hot tub is like kind of like a jacuzzi. It'd be really nice for me to soak in. And I was really wanting a hot bath. But when I went in, the water was lukewarm. Okay, it was hot for the first little while, but like as soon as the tub like went up to like my thigh area, like up to here, like not even a quarter full, at that point the hot water turned into lukewarm, kind of cold water. That was not what I was promised. So I went out and met my masseur who was asking me about how much I wanted to tip him. Now, if you watch my tipping guide video, I want you to imagine or try to guess how much I was going to tip him and how much he wanted. You good? You good? You ready? So, unfortunately, again, me being a people pleaser, I was prepared to give him around 700,000 VND, which I think was not deserved at all. Like, service-wise, I feel like he only deserved the minimum 300K. But you know what? I was ready to be a little bit generous and give him like 700K because like, a was involved. Even though I would have had more fun with a vacuum cleaner. So yeah, I was going to give him 700K. And guess what? This bitch has the gall to fight back and demand that I give him 1 million VND. Now, I always consider it a red flag when a masseur fights back for the tip. I do understand in some cases, I think it's okay for the masseur to like at least try to communicate expectations or try to explain what is considered fair for a tip to a customer, given that, sometimes it's unclear. Like, negotiating tips is always like a very awkward subject, but it's just the fact that he was so shameful in his demand, especially when I feel like we both know it was not good at all. Like, if this guy spent the whole hour breaking his back, making sure that I had the best massage ever, like if he was doing the 64 Trigram Palm technique and unlocking all the gates to my chakra, then yeah, of course I would give him 1 million VND, probably even more than 1 million. I'm happy to tip what the experience was worth, and my God, that experience was not worth it. I think my dog gives me a better massage when she accidentally walks over my back when I'm using my phone. And this goober was asking me to give him the same amount of tip as the guy who gave me my best and greatest experience at a gay spa. He wants the same as him. I'm like, God, bitch, be for fucking real. But I didn't fight back. Like, I'm not really someone who likes to get into conflict, so I just, agreed to it. But on the inside, I was feeling supremely ripped off. And as usual, when I left the service, the owner came up and tried to talk to me about it. He asked me how my experience was, and I simply told him, I'm gonna tell you later. And then, we did our usual small talk and catching up. But yeah, she was very sweet. And like, I was feeling conflicted. And like, when I got home, I wrote down my entire experience because I wanted to tell him. And then, a day or two passes and the owner brings up the possibility of me making a review video for CB Spa. And that's when I kind of gave him the whole spiel that I'm telling you now. And I left that text message saying, hey man, I don't think I can make a review video because, I have to be honest about my experiences and it just wasn't the greatest. But then yeah, we haven't spoke since then. Obviously, I said everything I'm saying to him in a much nicer way than I'm saying now. And I'm hoping he took it to heart because, it's been 3 months since I've last visited. And again, like I said, it is very possible that the owner has already done a complete overhaul of the entire experience. And now like the spa is in a much better state than it was when I first entered. But just in case the place hasn't improved since the last time I visited, I want to now detail the #1 issue the spa faces, and that is quality assurance. The base quality of your massage business should not vary this much to this extent. Like the massage service should not differ so supremely drastically across 2 different people. Like imagine going to a restaurant and ordering the same thing every day and like one day you get like a feast that like, would placate Joffrey from Game of Thrones. And then, on another day you get like this stale end piece of white bread from the back of your cupboard that you've long forgotten. Like that should not be the case. So I really think that you really need to start training your staff on what exactly they need to do during a massage. Of course, like skill levels will always vary depending on the staff and like, some variances is okay and expected. But there should always be a base level of quality. Because your quality of massages is so inconsistent, that is a huge problem. Because I get comments in person as well sometimes when you guys like come out and talk to me. And like I always hear like 1 or 2 things like, oh my god, MB Spa was such a great experience, thank you for suggesting it. And then on the flip side, like people complain to me like, oh my god, dude, why do you like MB Spa so much? It was like the worst experience I've ever had. Like I get these comments quite frequently. And at first I, just kind of like brushed it off, kind of like thinking like, oh, okay, I guess the massage style isn't like, for everyone. Like, there'll always be people who like prefer peaches and like in a garden full of apples, that kind of thing. So I always chop it up to just like a matter of like preferences. But now I see that it really is just up to chance. Some masseurs, amazing, totally worth it. The others, oh my god, they need to get more training or they need to find something else to do. And look, I'll be honest with you, I know you think it's a good idea to like bring in like really hot boys. Sometimes they're straight. And I'm guessing there is a huge market amongst the gay locals to try to do stuff with straight guys because I see straight masseurs very often. But I really feel like these boys are tanking your business. And I know how much you care about your business. So I really want to implore you to take a closer look at the masseurs you hire. Please don't try to hire them just for their hotness. Like I understand that is a big factor in this industry, like you can't avoid that. But your customer satisfaction is like your bread and butter too. Like maybe have a way to have customers give you their honest feedback on each masseur. I know you try to make an effort to try to talk to each customer after their massage, but sometimes people are like, shy, they don't want to talk about it. So maybe like instead of that, give them like a note that they can write their true thoughts and opinions like anonymously and then they can drop it inside a box somewhere, completely anonymous. Have them, write down the name of the masseur as well. Make it easy for them to remember, like, make sure that the masseur gives them their name right when they meet each other and right when they leave the service or something so that they can remember the masseur's name. Hell, maybe even make it something like Yelp or something. Like imagine if a customer can walk in and they can see your like list of masseurs and they can either read the comments that other people have made or like they can see the rating, the overall rating based on other people's like, experiences with them. Make it so your customers can make informed decisions based on what your other customers have experienced. And this can also incentivize your masseurs to do a better job. Oh my god, should I open up my own spa, you guys? But anyways, yeah, that's everything I had to say in this video. Again, I really do want this place to improve because again, the owner is so nice and I know that he cares. And also, this place was genuinely so good when I entered in the first time. And to have this place also be responsible for giving me the worst gay spa experience I've ever had, like that is just like really disappointing. And despite my rather scathing review of their new branch, I still do hope that you give this place a try. Because yeah, currently, I feel like it really is just dependent on who you pick as a monsieur. Maybe that's changed since the last time I went, which is like in March, or maybe it hasn't. But anyways, yeah, thank you for watching to the end of this video. I really hope that this is taken constructively, because on this channel, I really want to like cultivate a space that just like encourages growth, which means being positive and constructive, but also, not really shying away from the things that are, bad. And yeah, I want to do that. I want to foster this space to do that. So, I'm trying, okay? I'm doing my best. Also, if you're visiting Ho Chi Minh for the first time and you need a guide or you just want someone to hang out with, feel free to reach out to me on my website, on my Instagram, or just via email. And yeah, maybe we can hang out. Anyways, thank you so much for all your support and of course your feedback. I really do appreciate all the feedback that you give me, so thank you so much again. And yeah, thank you so much. And I guess I will see you guys next time, okay? See you!